G'day kids, thanks for tuning in to another Aussie episode. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that way you won't miss out on any of the new videos we put out, and it would certainly make my day. In the meantime, enjoy this video.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of mine.
G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie. G'day Ozzie.
G'day kids, Ozzie here. Today, we're going to chat to a real life vet who gets to look after some amazing animals. Dr Claire works at both Paradise Country and SeaWorld on the Gold Coast, and she is lucky enough to take care of polar bears, kangaroos, penguins, turtles, dingoes, dolphins, and koalas. And September is Save the Koala month. So today, we're going to learn all about koalas and what we can do to help. So kids, it's time to meet Dr Claire. G'day Claire, Ozzie here, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming along and joining me.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat to Ozzie and the kids and teach us all about koalas. Now Claire, for those kids that don't know you, where are you? What is your job? Can you tell us a bit about what you do?
So I'm based here on the Gold Coast in Australia, and I've got the very fortunate position of being the vet here at Village Roadshows. So that means I look after 2 wildlife parks. I look after the animals here at Paradise Country, which is where we are today. And I also have all the amazing animals at SeaWorld. So very fortunate position to be able to look after such an array of incredible animals.
You are very, very lucky indeed. So it's not just the koalas you get to look after, but it's all the animals at SeaWorld as well.
You got it, Ozzie. Very fortunate that in Australia we have such a unique set of animals. And I might be a little bit biased, but we certainly have some damn cute animals that are home to Australia, and that includes our marine animals as well. So very, very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in.
Awesome. So today we're going to get up close and personal with some koalas. Can you tell us a little bit about the koala that you've got there?
So this little girl, this is Tallow. She's one of our 3-year-old female koalas. She was actually recently voted as having the cutest face in a competition that was recently ran, and you can certainly see why. She is absolutely adorable. So Tallow was born here at Paradise Country, and she's one of our favourites that forms part of our koala population here.
Beautiful. So how many koalas do you have there at Paradise Country?
We have 38 koalas here at Paradise Country, and we do have an active breeding program, so that does change year by year. But we do have a large number of koalas, and they do play a very important role to conservation and education for the wild population of koalas.
So can you just tell us a little bit about your role as a vet and what you do in looking after the koalas there?
Yeah, so I have the fortunate job of making sure all the koalas here at Paradise Country do remain healthy and maintain a really healthy body condition, and make sure that there's nothing wrong or nothing that occurs to them whilst they stay with us. So just like our dogs and cats at home, there's certain things that we need to do with our koalas to make sure that they stay healthy. So for the kids at home that might have a dog or a cat, they might give their dog and cat some treatment to stop them from getting fleas or to stop them from getting ticks. They might also vaccinate their pets, like cats and dogs. Once a year they do need a vaccination. Well, so do these guys. We vaccinate them as well, and we do often give them different treatments just to make sure that they do stay healthy to prevent them from getting unwell. So that encompasses a large proportion of my job.
Very good. Now, in the unfortunate situation where one of the koalas do get sick, how do you know if they're sick?
Well, one of the very first things that koalas do when they do become sick is they stop eating. So koalas are very good at doing 2 things. They like to sleep and they like to eat. So if they stop doing one of those things, you usually know that they're not well. And the first thing that we do notice is they will go off their food. So we do have different things that we will do when a koala starts to give us some telltale signs that it's not well. And one of those things that we do is we do make a leaf milkshake. So we will literally get the leaves, the eucalyptus leaves that koalas eat, and we will put it in a blender just like a milkshake, and then we will give it to them via a syringe, and they love it.
Well, who wouldn't love a eucalyptus leaf milkshake?
Oh, I haven't tried it myself, Ozzie, but I can send you down some if you wish, and you can give it a go. But I know that the koalas certainly do love it.
Look, it is very tempting, but I have heard that humans can't actually eat eucalyptus leaves. Is that right?
You're exactly right. There's a chemical in it or an oil in it that our body doesn't know how to deal with, but koalas have altered different parts of their body to be able to deal with the oils that are in those eucalyptus leaves. So you're exactly right, Ozzie. If I'm to send you a milkshake, I'll make sure it's chocolate flavoured.
Well, you've definitely you picked the right flavour there. Chocolate is my go when it comes to milkshakes. Now, you said these little guys like to sleep a lot before. We do have a question in from a little fan. This is from Lily. She's 6 from Queensland, and she simply says, how many hours a day do koalas sleep for?
So there's 24 hours in a day, and a koala is known to sleep to almost 20 of those hours in any given day. So the average is anywhere from 15 to 20 hours. So they certainly do know how to sleep.
Wow. That's an incredible amount of time. Do we know why they sleep so much?
Well, it's partially going back to the diet. So we've already spoken about the diet, and we've spoken about the different oils that are in their diet, which makes it a diet that we can't eat, but it's also very low in energy. So it's a diet that doesn't give them a lot of resources to have a lot of energy. Therefore, they just don't have a lot of energy to burn. So it does all come down to their diet.
Yeah, okay, very good. That makes sense. So they haven't got much energy, so they just sit around in the trees and just relax because they don't have much energy to burn, so they can't move around and go for a run, go and play down the park like the kids that are watching today would like to do.
Yeah, that's right. It would sort of be the equivalent of us eating lettuce all day, every day. There's not much in lettuce, and we probably wouldn't feel very energised if we ate lettuce, but if we eat a little bit of lollies, or going back to our chocolate milkshake, it's got a lot more energy that we require to give us that activity level that we have. So that's where koalas do like to sleep, because the eucalyptus leaf doesn't offer them too much energy.
Very good. Now, with all that eucalyptus leaf, do they like to have a drink of water to wash that down? Do koalas actually drink water?
That's a really good question, Ozzie, because last year we were unfortunate enough here in Australia where we did have some catastrophic bushfires go through a lot of the koala habitats, particularly down in South Australia. And there was a lot of imagery going around of people feeding koalas out of water bottles. And in actual fact, they get a lot of their water from this eucalyptus leaf, but from time to time they will come to the ground and they will lack water. But they don't drink out of water bottles, or they don't drink out of cups like you and I.
Wowee. So they're an amazing creature, amazing animal. They really just like to munch on eucalyptus leaves and chill out in trees all day.
That's what they're known for, and that's what they're really good at doing.
And that's definitely what they're good at. So apart from those couple of things, what makes koalas so unique to Australia?
So there's a few things that make them so unique, and the one thing is they fall into the animal group that's known as marsupial. So a marsupial basically means that the koala has a pouch where their little joey will crawl up into the pouch and suck onto her teat and develop within that pouch. And having that pouch and being able to rear the young within that pouch is very unique to this group of animals known as marsupials. And do you know another marsupial, Ozzie?
Maybe another Aussie animal?
You got it. No, I've nearly cut you off there, but it's the kangaroo, and they've got a pouch as well.
They do. So two very iconic Aussie animals. They're both marsupials and they both have pouches.
You got it.
Now, with the colour of the koalas, are they all the same colour? Are they all that grey colour?
Yeah, so predominantly our koalas are this grey and white coloration. We can sometimes from time to time get a brown through their fur as well, but they are most known for this grey and white colouring. And I think they're cute with that coloration that they have.
Now, those little baby koalas that you mentioned before, how big are they when they're born?
So that's one of the other unique things about marsupials, and this is why they have a pouch. Because when these joeys, which is a baby koala, is called a joey, when they're born, they are really, really small. So their eyes are closed, their ears are pinned back, and they're actually born unfurred. So they will be born and they will climb up the fur of their mother's belly up into that pouch to get the food source, which is the milk that the mum produces.
Okay. You said another really interesting thing there. Baby koalas are called joeys. So that's another commonality between kangaroos and koalas.
You got it.
Amazing. I'm learning lots today, Claire. Thank you so much. Now, those little baby koalas, how long will they stay with their parents for?
So when they're born, as I said, they're very what we call vulnerable. So they're small, they're unfurred, and their eyes are closed. They'll stay within that pouch for several months. Then when they're too big to stay in that pouch, what they'll actually do is they'll crawl out of that pouch and then they become a back rider. So they'll literally crawl around onto mum's back and get piggybacked around the place.
Wow. They've got a pretty good life. So they start out in the pouch, then they go onto the back. Then once they're too big for the back, they just sit in the tree and eat leaves.
You got it. It sounds like a pretty simple life.
As humans, are we impacting their life? Are we threatening them as a species?
Unfortunately, it is one of the most common reasons why we are seeing the koala numbers coming down, is because they've got less and less habitat and less trees for them to survive.
Well, that's not good to hear. What is it that we can do as humans to help them out?
Well, there's some fantastic organisations out there that are working collaboratively and working together to try and restore the habitat. And what they're doing is planting trees. So if we plant more trees, then what we're doing is we're enabling those koalas more options to be able to eat and be healthy and then have more babies.
Beautiful. That's a great thing to hear. Did I also hear that there at Paradise Country you can actually adopt a koala?
Yeah, that's right. We're really proud of our conservation campaign here, and it's called Save a Mate. And what Save a Mate is it gives you the ability to adopt one of these adorable animals. So you can adopt Tallow here, and the money that we raise through that adoption goes straight to the Australian Koala Foundation. So those guys are one of the organisations that I mentioned that are out there actively planting trees to help restore our koala habitat.
How good is that? So we can actually adopt Cello there, and does that mean we get to bring Cello home, or are we just saying that we helping that koala and helping koalas in general by adopting them?
Yeah, no, you can't take this little one home, but it means that you are helping those wild koalas out there in the wild. As I say, that money will be used so we can plant trees so we have more habitat for our koalas.
Beautiful to hear. You guys are doing a great job there. Now, if we come to Paradise Country as a visitor, do we get a chance to meet these koalas?
Of course. So we've got, as I say, we've got a large population of koalas here at Paradise Country. We've got heaps of opportunities for the visitors to get up nice and close and build a beautiful connection with our koalas. So you can have a koala photo here at Paradise Country and get up nice and close to all sorts of koalas that we have here.
It sounds like a lot of fun to me. Next time I'm up in Queensland, I might just have to come along and meet yourself in person and some of those beautiful koalas there.
We would love to have you. Please let us know anytime that you're up.
Great stuff. Now, did I hear that you can have breakfast with the koalas too?
You got it. So we have a fantastic restaurant here at Paradise Country, and you can sit there and enjoy your coffee, your juice, or your breakfast, and we'll actually bring one of our koalas over with you, and you can have a meet and greet with one of our koalas as you're enjoying your breakfast. How cool is that?
Sounds amazing. I might have a chocolate milkshake while one of the koalas has a eucalyptus leaf milkshake. We have breakfast together and a photo together. Sounds perfect.
It sounds perfect to me too.
Now, I've got another question from a little fan. This is from Riley. He's 8 years old and he's from Sydney. And he wants to know, why do people call koalas bears?
Look, koalas are not bears, but I think where that name's come from, Riley, is the good old teddy bear. These guys are so cute and squishy that they do resemble the teddy bears that we have at home. So they are not a bear, but I think people do like to reference them as their cute teddy bears.
Fair enough. They do look soft and cuddly, but I believe they've got some pretty sharp claws, so they do give it a nice cuddle, but they can also give a nice scratch, I believe.
That's exactly right. You not only have to watch out for their teeth, but they've got some very strong claws on both their hands and their feet, which they obviously use for climbing around the tree. But when they do feel threatened or unhappy, they certainly know how to use them.
Yeah, I bet. So we're just going to leave, if we come across a koala in the wild, we're just going to leave them alone, aren't we? We're just going to look at them from a distance.
That's exactly right. That's the best advice to give.
Nice. Now, Claire, you've taught us so much about koalas today. I just want to ask a little bit about yourself and the other animals you work with. What are some of the other highlights, some of the awesome animals that you've had the chance to work with in your career?
Look, as I mentioned at the beginning, I've got a very privileged position where I get to work with a whole array of different species, and I quite often get asked what is my favourite animal. And to be honest, it changes every day. One minute it is the koala, and the next minute I get to work alongside one of the amazing polar bears at SeaWorld, or I get to work on a pelican that's come in from the wild. So we do have animals that come from the wild that we do look after. So it changes every day.
Yeah, nice. You certainly have a great job. Do you think you've got the best job in the world, Claire?
Oh, I might be biased, but I certainly do think I've got the best job in the world.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of kids out there that might think the same thing too. So what kind of advice can you give to kids that want to become a zookeeper or a vet like yourself?
Well, certainly, Ozzie, when I was a kid, this was the dream position. I've always loved working or wanting to work with animals and always loved the Australian animals. So the number one thing that I would say to kids is work hard at school, but don't give up. If you have a passion about wildlife or animals and you want to be a zookeeper or a zoo vet, make sure you don't give up on the dream.
I think that's a great piece of advice for anything that kids want to do. And I think it brings us perfectly to Ozzie's final question. Our favourite saying is to stay keen. And that means, we try and tell kids to go out and experience lots of different things, give different things a try, different sports, different hobbies, and find what it is that they love. And whether that be sport, or whether that be an animal conservationist, or becoming a scientist, or a school teacher, whatever it is, you can go out and achieve it as long as you stay keen. So, Dr. Claire, how do you stay keen?
How do I stay keen? Well, I love what I do and I surround myself with these beautiful animals. So it's hard to not stay keen when you get to work alongside these. The passion just stays alive.
Amazing. Great advice. You obviously love what you do. You can see by the massive smile on your face, and getting to spend days with animals like little Tallow there is fantastic. And hopefully kids watch this and they're inspired to follow in your footsteps and do just what you're doing. Amazing things with animals.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ozzie. And kids, if you do love those animals, as I said, or Ozzie says, stay keen and hopefully you'll be here one day too.
Claire, thank you so much again for joining us. Next time I'm in Queensland, I'm going to come in and say g'day to you. Until then, stay keen.
Ozzie, Ozzie.
Thank you very much to Dr. Claire for teaching us so much about one of Australia's most unique and cute animals, the beautiful koala. If you want to find out what you can do to help, just go to www.savethekoala.com. Here you can adopt a koala, plant a digital tree, make a donation, or just check out the Save the Koala shop, where you can buy shirts and hoodies, hats, socks, books, cookie cutters, bags, and heaps more. And of course, all of this is helping to look after these amazingly cute animals. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and don't forget, kids, always stay keen. If you haven't already, make sure you get a grown-up to help you hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on any of the new and exciting videos that we put out. Speaking of new and exciting, if there's a video that you'd love to see Ozzie do, make sure you send us a message on our socials, on Facebook or Instagram at Ozzie for Kids. We'll see you again soon, kids. And until then, stay keen. Oh, and by the way, did you happen to find the hidden Ozzie icon in that video? Yeah, make sure you look closely because they're in every single video. That's right. Stay keen, kids.
Ozzie, 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 oi! Ozzie is a friend of yours and he's a friend of